This town has been shut down since last night when the tornado struck. Behind me, you can see what some of the families here are dealing with. You see this white picket fence just ripped apart, the bushes and trees all up. Next to Winnebago Road, US 20 is just behind me. The wind has kicked up so much, I was actually kind of pushed over a little bit. We are dealing with absolutely everything out here. We've had fog, we've had rain, we've had freezing rain, and possibly freezing roadways. A home or a hotel, look behind the headboard for bed bugs. They had tracked a man to the home behind me on 20th Street. It might only be 6 a.m., but I've got a crowd full of excited students behind me. Just a beautiful night here. I'm standing at the Fork and Stein food truck. We're actually going to head out here inside the food truck. We are just starting to see how widespread the devastation is from last night's tornado. Take a look at the speed limit sign here in town. It's just been ripped off. It's laying on its side here. Come back this way with me. A utility pole has just been snapped in half. The wires hanging in the field. There's actually a fire crew member out there. There's a horse running loose behind me. But over here is where the majority of the devastation is. Homes ripped apart. The home behind me here has a tree through the front of it. Every single window blown out. Now, I talked to the Kirkland Fire Department. They said they went house by house last night. They found 7 people trapped inside their home. Call it mother's intuition. When Julie Fitzgerald looked at her son on the eve of his 2nd birthday, she knew there was something wrong. Avery Fitzgerald is a pretty typical 2-year-old, following after his older brother, but his mother noticed something different about her youngest son.
Probably a couple months ago, I just noticed when I was looking at Avery, like in a light, I would see something in the back of his eye, and I thought,
Julie Fitzgerald started to wonder what it could be and went online and read an article about a woman who saw a white eye in photos of relatives instead of the normal red eye. And it turned out to be cancer. Julie told the story to her husband, Patrick. He said he told her it was nothing, but Julie couldn't shake the feeling something was wrong.
I took a picture, and I did not want to take the picture because I just had this dreaded feeling in the pit of my stomach. And I took the picture, and sure enough, I took it of all 3 boys, and the other 2 were fine. And then his picture, boom. I mean, his whole pupil was just white. So, yeah.
That was just 3 weeks ago. Julie went to a specialist who gave them the news.
He took one look and said, there are multiple tumors, and you will probably not be able to save his eye.
It was cancer. 75% of Avery's eye was covered in tumors, and it had to be removed. Had they waited much longer, it could have spread to his brain and blood. The Fitzgerald family found out Avery had likely been blind in his left eye his whole life, but the tumor started growing just 6 weeks earlier. His dad says he has very simple advice for other fathers out there.
Listen to your wife. That'd probably be the first thing.
Trust your gut.
Yeah, trust your gut, definitely.
Trust a mama's gut.
And don't wait. Don't wait to see if it improves.
Now, Avery will eventually get a prosthetic eye. His family still doesn't know if he's going to have to go through chemo, but right now they believe all the cancer has been removed. The Commerce Department tells me the Booker Washington Center misused state money granted to them back in 2011. The Commerce Department says Booker owed the state $200,000 of grant money. That, they say, was misappropriated by the center. The grant was supposed to be used for building improvements, but instead, they say the money was used for payroll. We also found out today from Booker's executive director, Jesse Bates, that the center still faces $150,000 mortgage debt, as well as $88,000 that is still owed to vendors. So with the funds owed to the state, along with the center's current debt, Booker is facing $438,000 that it must repay. That $438,000 is actually down from months ago, as they've been able to pay back $58,000 in payroll taxes that they owed to the federal government. This has been a long process for Booker, but they tell me they do have a plan to fix it. A year ago in July, this was the message.
Let's do what it takes to just make this a better, just save our community center. Booker Washington Center had just announced it was on the verge of bankruptcy. Everyone on the payroll was let go. It had been months since any of its staff or bills had been paid. Acting Executive Director Jesse Bates says at the time it was facing $300,000 in debt. The debt isn't gone except for the most pressing, the payroll taxes.
I think it was $58,000. That's paid.
Was there any other debt that you have been able to just get rid of off the books?
Nothing that we've been able to get rid of off the books. I mean, except for little minor things.
It is still facing nearly $440,000 in debt. $150,000 of that is the mortgage on the building. Booker has worked out a plan for that. It has another $88,000 of debt it still needs to get a payment plan for.
We're paying down the debt with mostly special events, what we've earned in special events, what we earned from sales of services, what we earn for rentals, that kind of thing.
Bates says Booker also plans to reopen its resale shop. Plus, it's charging fees for its sports and activities, something it never did before. Though it's taking donations, that's not the plan to keep Booker afloat.
You just can't go out there and say, you know, well, we didn't do everything right, but just give us the money anyway. You can't go asking people for money until you have that solid reputation that people feel comfortable with.
For your news leader, Rebecca Klopf, 13 News. Now, Bates is not commenting specifically on the Department of Commerce situation, saying an ongoing negotiation is underway to repay that misappropriated funds to the state. However, they do acknowledge that there was wrongdoing under the previous leadership. Sean and Kristen, back to you.
Now, Rebecca, really quick, what is the Department of Commerce saying about how Booker is handling the situation?
Yeah, they say Booker is fully cooperating with the state. They do acknowledge that they did something wrong. Their hope is that Booker can continue its operations in Rockford once everything is resolved.
Sean, I'm here outside the Belvedere School District headquarters where just about an hour ago, a dozen members of the teachers union walked through those doors behind me and they handed in a letter. It was a notice of intent to strike. Now, what that means, no one is walking off the job yet, but they do have the legal right to do so in 28 days. Now, that is on October 16th. In the meantime, the teachers and the district must turn in their last best offers. They have now just 7 days to do that. That is actually going to be after their next bargaining session, which is scheduled for Tuesday. Now, in the meantime, the teachers union says its focus is going to be at school, in the classroom, and it's going to remain on the classroom, not on this situation.
We encourage our teachers not to discuss this on school time. We're still doing a job, and that's educating our students. Of course, there's always some questions. They've seen us and seen what's going on, and they pay attention to what's going on. And we just say we're not on strike, and we're still working at avoiding that.
The Belvedere Schools Superintendent Michael Houselog says he doesn't think that the board and the teachers are really all that far apart on the issues and that they are both going to continue to negotiate. Now at 6, I'm going to talk to the BEA president about what some of those sticking points are. I'll have a one-on-one interview with him. In the meantime, reporting live in Belvedere, Rebecca Klopf, 13 News. Sean, back to you.